Okay. I'm 1 minute in. I'm only seeing one concurrent viewer. So say hello if you're there. Stream is healthy. That's the first. Hi Ali, how you doing? Who else is there? Who else is there in the chat? Let's see who you are. Get a couple more in the chat, and then we can start doing questions and answers. My desk is like the deck of a spaceship at the moment with all the monitors. Okay, I've got 4 concurrent viewers. Let's get a couple more in and then we can get started. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Ali gets a mention. Ali Davis. Who else we got out there? Say hello. Anybody else chatting? Anybody else saying hello? Hi Mark and Rosa, how are you doing there? Nice to have you on board. Great to see you. Unfortunately, I've only got 3 concurrent viewers, so it's not looking too bright at the moment. Been off ill. I had a it was what do they call it? My mind's a bit of a fog at the moment. I had a bacterial infection. It was similar to scarlet fever, so it was pretty horrific, pretty crippling for a while, and it's laid me a bit low. I'm back to about, I'd say, about 90% now, so things are looking up. 6 concurrent viewers. Say hello, give us a like if you're that way inclined. Anybody got a question to start us off with? I'm sure Mark and Rosa have got a question. So one of the things I was thinking of doing was getting out and about a bit more in North Wales and showing you the scenery. I actually live pretty close to Snowdonia, which is famous for its natural beauty, and it's a mountainous area, and it's extremely beautiful. I have been there before on 1 or 2 of my videos, but I've not really gone into it in any depth. So if any of you are interested in that, let me know. Yeah, Ali says Snowdonia would be great. I think he's right. You know, it's a very beautiful area. And when I was in the British Army, I used to do quite a lot of what we called adventure training out there, and that was taking groups of guys out into the mountains and exposing them to real or imagined danger, and then watching their reactions, and it was a way of a good way of observing your people and seeing which ones had the leadership qualities. And you put them under, hi, Dark Powder UK. I won't say your real name. Better not. Alright, mate, nice to see you. Yeah, so you go out and you put guys under real or imagined danger, and like hang the backsides off a rock 500 feet above more rocks, and you quickly see the group dynamics change. The big mouthy ones that tend to take a little bit of a backseat and let the other guys get on with it, and that way you get to see how guys react. Mr. Paul's in the house. How you doing there? How you doing there, Mr. Paul? Nice to see you. Thanks for taking the time to come and see us here. I know you're very busy. All right. Mr. Paul has got a superb channel, a cookery channel. So I think you're over 50k viewers now, aren't you, Mr. Paul? I think so. Oh, well, thanks, Dark Powder. That I really do appreciate that, mate. You've been with me as long as I can remember, since I began. Really, I think I had about 12 when you first looked at me. So yeah, Mr. Paul's nearly 60k now. That's incredible. You've done well. That's just in the last. You've gone up from 30k. In the last year, I think, if I remember correctly. That's incredible. Mind you, great content on there, and Mr. Paul's got a recent initiative of showing his meals of the week, which is I've been looking forward to it every week and just seeing how he copes. He's also got one day a week he does this fridge challenge. What day is that, Mr. Paul? He does this kind of fridge challenge, and he has to make a meal out of what he can find in his fridge, which that keys right in with my idea of good house management, because I don't like throwing food away. I think it's a travesty to throw food away. So that's a Thursday. All right, that's every Thursday. He reaches in his fridge and comes out. He has to make a meal out of what he finds in his fridge. So I think that's a MRE challenge. That's military meals ready to eat, or as we say in Britain, ORPs, operational ration packs. Every country has their own. Some countries share, I think, but. The British ones, I noticed recently, contain a lot of real products, REAL products, which is unusual. Margaret's in the house. Hi, Margaret. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. So, getting back to Mr. Paul's, if you want a recipe for Scottish shortbread, I think that's Mr. Paul's certainly one of his top performing videos, so go over and have a look at that. It really is great, and it's a product you'll see from the thumbnail images. It's a product just like you'd see from a Scottish shortbread company, so it's really, really beautiful, and I don't doubt that it tastes a lot better than the version from a company that's trying to make a profit. Yeah, 10 recipes with spam. I think I've got the most spam recipes on the whole internet. I even did one with spam sushi. Oh, good. Already subscribed to Mr. Paul. Thanks, Dark Powder. That's great. Well, it's lovely to see you in here, guys. I've been pretty down the last few weeks. I was really messed up. Oh, we got Stephen and Jacqueline in the house. How you doing out there in Trinidad? Nice to see you. Thank you very much, Stephen and Jacqueline. Very, very much. It's been a long road, but it was a personal target, and it's really nice to have actually reached it. And that's all thanks to you guys and those of you who will be watching this later. Whether you're subscribed or not, and 87% of you are not subscribed, but that would be nice if you could sub and join. I know everyone in the chat now is subscribed because I set that condition. Thank you very much, Margaret. It's a point of personal pride to me to come this far. You know, I kind of set myself little goals when I started, and I'm just about inside those goals at the moment. So I'm hoping for bigger and better things, of course, as I head into retirement, because it'll be I'm only semi-retired at the moment, but as I actually head into full retirement, it'll be a bit it will be certainly a little more income, much needed income as well. Christmas, hope to get to 50,000. I hope to get to 50,000 by Christmas. That would be nice. Oh, that would be something. Yes. If you go to Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline, they do. I would say there's a kind of emphasis on the wonderful food of Trinidad and Tobago, but they also do great burgers and all sorts of things, but usually with a Trini twist, which is you know, I have a special affection for Trinidad. It's a wonderful place, a magical island. I love it, love it. I already wonder how I had time to go to work. Forgive me if I butcher your name, but hi to Majin Menace. That sounds great. It's a great name, Majin Menace. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us in the chat. Anybody got any questions? Let's fire off with a couple of questions. I won't be staying on too long because I don't really have much energy these days, so if you've got some questions, put them in. We've got a question from Majin already. Do I like gyros? Yes, very much. The gyros, the first gyros I ever had was actually in Germany, in a place called Gütersloh. I was serving soldier in Germany, and the local town, there was a little chap near the centre of town that used to do gyros, or gyros. I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly, but in Germany they called it gyros. And unlike a lot of the gyros you get in modern Germany, which is mostly all made out of turkey meat, back then it was made out of pork. So it was the place was run by a Greek guy, and of course nowadays I've been back to Gütersloh since, and the only people selling it in Gütersloh now were Turks, and of course they won't use pork, so they made it out of turkey meat, and it was still excellent, really great. So yeah, I do like gyros very much, very much. In Britain we call it doner kebab, but it's more or less the same thing. It's normally stick roasted barbecued meat, which has been sliced very thinly and served up with a Greek or Turkish style salad, and it really is a fantastic snack, and as all street food goes, it's actually quite healthy because it has copious amounts of salad with it. So it's a big favourite of mine. Yes, certainly, Majin. Anyone else got a question? Oh, you're welcome, Stephen and Jacqueline. Stephen and Jacqueline are also moderators on my channel, so if you start saying horrible things to me, they might moderate you. Why pork is a fart? Well, I think it's Dark Powder's question is about why pork is I don't know for sure. I just know that it's if you think it in Northern Europe and all the Latin countries, pork is probably one of the most common meats. Perhaps it's easier to farm. I really don't know for sure, but I'd have to look that up. It's rather interesting. I would think agricultural reasons, perhaps because they're fairly easy to manage in concentration. I know there's an awful lot of wastage in pork farming, especially in the concentrated form of pork farming. Where I was in Suffolk, there was a lot of open pork farming there. And also in Wiltshire and Hampshire there is. So I tend to think the pork is much better from those areas. It definitely tastes better. How long have I been doing YouTube videos for? That question comes from Margaret. I've been doing YouTube videos since 2016. Yeah, October 2016. So it's just over 5 years. Yeah, started off real slow. I wasn't very good. I went back to some of my cringy old videos and deleted them or updated them because they were just so cringy. You know, when you start off, it's a big learning curve. So if any of you thinking of starting or your own video channels, don't do your best stuff straight off, because you've got great ideas. That's why you want to do the channel. But don't do your best stuff straight away. Give yourself, a few months and make all your cringy mistakes. Welsh Toro, thanks for joining us, Welsh Toro. Just cooked a great mince recipe, and it's good to go with some tatties. Saving it for a mega cottage pie tomorrow. That sounds really bright to me, mate. I really like the sound of that. Welsh Toro. Great name, by the way. Carol's in the house. How you doing, Carol? Lovely to see you. Always great to see you around, Carol. Carol's been with me for as long as I can remember. But, well, back, I think there was only I think I probably had less than 100 subs when Carol joined me. I know it was quite low. Maybe just after might have been after my first. Certainly less than 1,000 anyway. Welsh pork is such a massive part of Spanish cuisine, but the quality of the meat is often quite ordinary. Good value though. Yeah, Mr. Paul actually lives in Spain, and he might back you up there. But there are some really some of the best pork in the world actually comes from Spain. Not the ordinary stuff. I'm on about the pata negra, the black leg pork. I think they feed it on acorns and apples or something like that. And I think Mr. Paul spoke about it as well at some time in the past. I think they also feed it the pressings from the wine making, so it's the dry, flat, moistureless grapes skins that are left after the wine has been pressed, and I think they feed them that as well. I don't know for absolute sure, but I certainly remember I was in a bar the locals went in, and I asked the taxi driver, where do you guys, the taxi drivers, eat? And he showed me this bar. This was in Gran Canaria in that's from Mr. Paul. Pata Negra roam in the oak tree groves and feed mostly on the acorns. There you go then. Acorns. I know that the famous ham from Italy, the prosciutto di Parma, is fed on a similar diet to that. Dark Powder says, in the southwest UK we have salt marsh fed lamb. I've tried it. It's absolutely, it's not even like lamb, is it? Well, it is, but it isn't, if you know what I mean. Yeah. There's I've certainly tried it, and there's also one in Anglesey in North Wales here that they do a salt marsh lamb. I've not tried that one yet, but when I lived down in Somerset, I tried the salt marsh lamb. Clive Downs, the butcher in I nearly said Lowestoft then. In where did he live? Porlock. In Porlock, Clive Downs, the butcher there, he used to get it in occasionally. Yeah. Oh really? I didn't know. I didn't know that. I know that Anglesey was where the Romans finally defeated the Druids, or finally wiped out the Druids in the UK during the Roman occupation. Very interesting. Yeah. Iberico pork chops and cuts. Oh, I'm drooling here. I'm drooling here. Yeah. Yes, it's. I'm just about to finish off about what I said about that, and this place in Puerto Rico in Gran Canaria, and in the shopping centre in the main valley, there's this little place where all the taxi drivers and the locals go to eat, and in there they had a ham on a rack. They had two, in fact. They had one with the ordinary ham on, which is absolutely wonderful to eat as well, and on this other rack they had this very expensive, I think it was €16 per portion, and that's only a little platter, and that was in 2013, and they cut off chips of it. They don't serve it like they do in the UK in these thin slices. They don't do that in these places in Spain. They cut it off in little thin chips, in tiny chips, and you get a plate of these chips of ham. And this was just one little plate, €16, of just a couple of slices of this fantastic ham, but it was black. It wasn't in of itself. It had darkened and aged, and as I tried it, I thought that is the most amazing thing I ever tasted to that point, and I've tasted some great things in my life, but it really is, it's fantastic. Yeah, I think pigs fed on acorns is good economics, because the humans can eat acorns, but they have to be heavily processed, and many of them contain grubs that humans probably wouldn't want to eat, but I know people who love them, the little acorn grubs. They'll eat them as a snack. So that I won't go into that too much, but friends of mine have actually done that and I've made a video of it. So ham on Serrano, €134 a kilo. Ooh, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's €134 a kilo. It is fantastic ham, and that's right at the upper limit of what I'd pay for ham. But I think if you've got to try it once, you don't buy a kilo anyway, you just buy a couple of little slices. a few slices on a small plate. But if you get the chance and you've not tasted it, do it, because it really is the most amazing. It's the most amazing ham. It's certainly the most amazing ham I've ever tried. It's incredible. I do like good ham and good pork as well. Yeah. Anybody got any more questions or anecdotes to keep us happy with? Yeah, pate negra ham. I do like the Italian Parma ham. That's very nice. Serrano comes from French Duroc varieties. Oh, didn't know that. When can you expect my next video? Okay, I can't say for sure, but and some of you may notice that I've made a few videos out of older, longer videos, and I made a few shorts out of them, and I was kind of testing the water on that and seeing how they did, and they are actually quite good at driving traffic to my website, which is kind of good for me. Props not so good for all my regulars. So I think I need to get back making videos, but I have been thinking of doing more videos out and about. So the summer's coming up, and when the weather improves, my brother and I will be out on the trike again, and we'll take you around some of the beautiful areas around North Wales and do some updated videos on that. Pate negra is Iberian. Yeah, Iberian, and is made as ham on, but in Spain you can eat. Yeah. So you can buy pate negra as steaks and chops. I've never done that. I would imagine my friend Mr. Paul has. Video for the coronation of King Charles. Well, I'm wondering when all that's going to happen, because I've not seen much on it. It's a little bit obscure, but then I don't really watch TV, so I don't see that. Yeah, I don't live near Harlech. I live right on the north coast in a town called Rhyl, which is, if you're into the castles, it's not far from Rhuddlan Castle, or Rhuddlan Castle as I should pronounce it. Yeah. Coronation of King Charles. I can't imagine me doing a video on that, although it might be an idea to include. I understand Prince Charles is rather finicky about the way he likes his eggs, so I might find out that recipe and do that for you. May the 6th. It's a long time after Queen Elizabeth died, isn't it? Very strange. Charles. See, the females of his family line live forever, don't they? I mean, his grandmother lived a long time. His mother lived a long time. Let's hope he enjoys a long, happy life. So there's a couple of ways I can do the videos for North Wales. I actually prefer driving around, because then it'd be easier for me to manage my equipment and that I need for the videos. But some of it we'll do in the trike, because the trike is like a Servicar, so it's got a trunk, it's got a boot in it where I can put stuff. Yeah, I'm technically 1/4 Welsh. My mother was half Welsh, and my maternal grandfather was all Welsh and Welsh speaking, but he didn't speak Welsh. He was Welsh speaking, but he didn't speak Welsh. He was that generation. The throne sits on top of a rather old borrowed stone of long tradition. Is that a stone borrowed from Bonnie, Scotland, or something? I seem to have heard a rumour about that, about a stone that was borrowed from Scotland. Borrowed being the contentious word. I think there's a few Scots that might disagree with that. Borrowed. And I'm rather fond of Bonnie, Scotland, as you know, from some of my recent recipes. I'm waiting for the mince and tatties video to actually hit the hotspot. It's not quite hit the raw nerve yet, and I'm sure when it does, it'll do rather well. But I had that mince video of mine, which is really one of my best performing videos of all, and it did nothing for a year, and then all of a sudden it just went boom and everybody was watching it. So I guess it must have been syndicated somewhere. Yeah. Anybody got any more questions or anecdotes? The only thing is, I've been ill, and I mean really bad, not able to get out of bed ill, that kind of ill, and unable to eat. But fortunately, being me, the first thing that came back was my appetite, and I'm a bit better now, but I get a little tired, so I won't be able to stay on stream for an awful long time tonight. I know there are 9 of you concurrent viewers, thank you, and I've had a few likes as well, thank you very much, really appreciate that, boys and girls, thanks very much. I love Spanish recipes. I mean, there are wonderful rice dishes from all around the world, but as far as I'm concerned, the Spanish have got it. In particular, my favourite, just for my personal taste, is the Andalusian paella. I love that. It's a combination of meat and seafood and saffron, and it just really works for me. It's a fantastic dish, and I made that and served it to a Thai friend. I was taught how to do it by a Canarian guy. I made it and served it to some Thai friends, and one of the Thai ladies said it's the best rice she'd ever had. And I think coming from an Asian lady, I think that's quite a compliment. So the compliment goes to Spanish, in particular Andalusian style paella. You caught me live, Maldwin. Thanks for joining us. Maldwin's been with me a long time. Thank you very much for being great friends, and I really do appreciate you. Yeah. Food is a fine medicine. Yeah, that's a very good point, is knowing herbs, and I really think that we should be eating more natural edibles. I think, for instance, that the guy who's spraying his dandelions with poison, it is actually destroying the cure for his bad back. So the dandelion heads are very, very good, particularly for men. So the dandelion flowers are great. I include them in a lot of my winter stews and soups because they are such a fantastic. And another one that you probably don't know about, or if you do, you're in the know, is stinging nettles. They're not particularly easy to harvest, but once you've harvested them and cleaned them, and you use them as a spinach replacement in just about anything, they're particularly good for some of the problems men have in later life. Great for lots and lots of things. So that's stinging nettles, and you don't eat the woody fibrous old bits. You eat the tips of the new ones. I first started cooking with nettles over 30 years ago. Would have been about 1987 when I made my first nettle beer, and it was just like it was like a lightly alcoholic Caribbean style, particularly Jamaican style ginger beer. Refreshing, you could drink it all day. It's a fantastic thing to drink at a barbecue, for instance, because you're there all day. You want something to keep you cool, and you want something refreshing and something that's not over alcoholic, because you don't want to get blasted out your brain. Well, maybe you do, but you don't want to get blasted out your brains all day and stand there under the hot sun munching on your barbecue, do you? Right, your saffron rice is wrong. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not a video that's had thousands of. I think it's had a good few hits, but it's one of my favourite videos, and it's one that I'd like to make again, only in high resolution. So I'll probably put out a 4K version of that before too long, because you need the resolution to see the rice in its glory when it's finished. But I'll just mirror the recipe and just do it again, because it's such a fantastic dish. That's a Moglai dish from the Mughals, the Persian Mughals who populated India. Yeah. Thanks, Welsh Toro. Really appreciate that. Oh, thanks, Mark. That's Mark and Rosa. Thank you. Thanks for the generating me some likes. Welsh Toro. My Italian girlfriend's grandmother made the most incredible nettle risotto when I was there in Udine in 1996. The stink vanishes when. Yeah, absolutely. The thing about nettles are actually used as a wrapper for the Cornish cheese Yarg cheese, which is a really nice cheese, super cheese. But the nettle is used as a wrapper for it. The other thing about nettles is, and going back to what Welsh Toro says, is once it's cooked, it's got a gorgeous stocky, like vegetable stock cube sort of taste. That wonderful, rich, deep vegetarian. It's a wonderful addition to a vegetarian. Great, wherever you would use spinach, you can use nettles, and I do. I use them a lot. In fact, I buy from a trusted supplier. I buy organic dried nettles, stinging nettles, and I also buy the dandelion flowers, which save my back picking them off my own lawn. But I do pick them off my own lawn as well when I want to use them fresh. So I really do love them, and that's it's that nettle stink, isn't it? It just goes away when you cook them, and it smells great, like a good vegetable stock cube. Yeah, there is a tale that I could tell, but I better not, because it's a bit risky, about the shaman and the nettle. That's rather good. nettles have long, fine, strong strands which can be woven to make excellent cordage, second only to manila hemp. So it's got a fantastic strength to weight ratio, so you can make really strong rope in bushcraft out of nettle. Yeah, I think there's a few natural fibres that are particularly good, and there's like manila hemp is one of the great ones. Sisal is rather ragged, which looks like a kind of cactus. Sisal, the best thing about sisal is you can snap off the tip of the sisal and pull it, and you end up with a needle with its own thread on it. That's a good thing about sisal. But sisal's a bit more rough. Linen is excellent, and as we know, it's a nice, long, strong thread, and my shirt's made out of it. Yeah. There you go. Nettle cordage to string up. Yeah, you could do all that, couldn't you? I mean, go totally traditional. I think there'd definitely be a market for that. I think it would be rather popular. 9 classic herbs in a recipe. What's a thought? Give that a think. I'll mull that around. And if any of you have got channels, by the way, of your own that you want people to join, or at least take a look at, put an X in the chat now, and then the others will know. So just put an X in the chat, just like that. So I won't keep you much longer. One of the downsides of the illness I've had is that I get tired pretty quickly, and I'm still only 90%. I'm getting to 100, but it's been slow, and I thought I'd gotten over it, and then it started trying to get into my chest. So I've been dosing myself up with colloidal silver. Yeah. All right. Any last questions before I end the live stream? Diana Fleming, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Nettle soup, yeah, wonderful. It's a fantastic nettle pizza. Any way you could use spinach, you could use nettles. The only caveat I would say is not to use the woody old nettles or the great big nettle leaves. You really, as if you were, you just need to take the tips of the nettle plants, and the younger the nettle plant, the better. You want to take the fine shooting tips of the nettle plant, and there are many types of stinging nettle, and they're all edible, and the dead nettles are also edible, so it's very hard to go wrong with nettles. So and it's highly nutritious. The stinging nettle and the dandelion in total, particularly the dandelion flower, are incredibly nutritious to the human body, and beneficial to the human body. I've got to be careful what I say about that, but I think what I'll do is I will put a link to a couple of videos you need to see. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me find it. I'll be with you in a sec. I'm just got to do a search. History. Nettle. This is the one. I found it. I'll just put that in there for you. No, I won't, because that's the wrong one. That's the one. That's the one on stinging nettles. And you'll want to see the same guy. Do this one on. Dandelion plant. This is worth my. There we go.
It and others just poison it. Today we're talking about Taraxacum officinale, the common dandelion plant.
And I'll share these to the live stream as well. There you go. So the top link I've pasted in there is to the nettle video, and the second one is to the dandelion. This lad is a bit of a geek, but I tell you what he doesn't know about those plants isn't worth knowing. And you watch those two videos and you'll be including those in your diet, I promise you. Right, nettle pesto. There you go. Nettle pesto. Now I'm gonna have to have a go at that, aren't I? That's probably gonna be my next video. What a fantastic suggestion. Projects. New. Create new folder. Nettle pesto. Where's that? Go. Add to favourites. That's a great suggestion, Diana. Let me just put your name in there so you get a mention. Fleming. I think that's it. Any relation to Ian Fleming? So, okay, Diana also says hi and thanks for the great recipes. When I saw that you were online, thank you very much, Diana, much appreciated. And it's people like you that keep this channel going, really. I mean, all of you out there, 15,000k, I mean 15,000 subscribers. It's hard to imagine. I doubt if I've spoken to 15,000 people in the last 2 years. So it's incredible, really is incredible, except of course when I make videos. So it's a great honour to be able to do this, and I feel very privileged to be able to put the videos together and have these live chats as well. It's actually quite humbling. Margaret says, have you ever made anything like jams or jellies or different types of flavoured butter? All the above, yeah. It's just a matter of I've more ideas than have time to make videos, really, but just every now and again one of them really pops out. I have made jams and jellies many times in the past. I did a really nice sage and apple jelly. Let me see if I can get you a link for that. Let me see if I can get you a link. I'll find it. Sage. Yeah. Sorry about the sound effects. But if you click that link, you'll hear him again. That's the sage and apple jelly. And jams, yeah. I haven't. the most recent jam I made was of damsons, and they were wild damsons collected just down the road in a place we call Gypsy Lane. And I made a damson jam out of those, which was rather good. I actually ended up turning that damson jam into a wine because I had so much of it. I think I had about 10 kilos of damsons, just wild damsons collected, and they were a little bit powdery and bittery on the tongue, but really great when turned into a jam, and also very good when turned into a wine. So particularly nice, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of nettle pesto. I've never actually. I don't think I've actually ever made it. I need to get down to doing that. I've certainly never made a video out of it. Nettle pesto. All right, Mark and Rosa, thanks for joining us, and see you on the next video. Thanks, my friends. Okay, so if you've got anything to say it now, because I'm about to end the live stream in the next minute. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for coming along, and it is you that make the channel. All I do is film myself doing something I love, and I hope that comes across on the videos, and clearly some of you, many of you, and certainly the ones of you who are subscribed to my channel, you probably share the same joy of food, and I hope to put a little bit more travel back into proceedings in the next couple of months. It'll be nice to get back and get out there again. Alright, thanks Dark Powder, and my love to your family. I won't mention names, but all my love to your family, and all my love to all you guys out there. Thank you, and I'll try and mention as many names as I can. Dark Powder, Ali, Diana, Margaret, Mark and Rosa, Margaret again. Margaret gets mentions. Diana Fleming, Welsh Toro, and what have we got? Stephen and Jacqueline in Trinidad, Majin. Okay, and Mr. Paul, of course, thanks for joining us. So see you on the next video, and there will be another live within a couple of months, I would think. So we'll see how this one goes. Okay, bye now, and big love.